Hello and welcome to Landline. I'm Pip Courtney. It's arguably the biggest challenge facing Australia this century, how to best manage that most precious of resources, water. While experts may disagree over whether this current dry spell is an extended drought or a more permanent change to our climate, there's no dispute that we need to use water far more efficiently. And that's the theme of this week's program, marking the start of National Water Week. Today we'll be looking in more detail at a remarkable water recycling project we visited earlier this year. But first, two important success stories, one involving new technology, another a change of crop.
At Coleambally in the New South Wales Riverina, Peter Sheppard would normally be flooding this paddock to grow rice.
We've been mainly, I suppose, rice growers, and this is the first time since 1963 we won't be growing a rice crop because it hasn't been the water.
Instead, the veteran of more than 40 years as an irrigation farmer has scraped just enough water together to grow his first ever crop of corn.
We've been able to secure enough water to put in 25 hectares of corn.
So just how bad, has the drought affected you?
Oh, really, it's really biting in now. It's been going on so long.
Coleambally normally produces crops worth about $200 million a year, including one of the nation's biggest rice crops. But the drought has cut its general security water allocations to zero. They may have no water, but the district's 400 irrigation farmers are awash with optimism for the future. They're riding on a wave of new technology, which has set a world benchmark of 90% efficiency for the delivery of water through channel irrigation. Farmers such as Robb can now order water within 2 hours at the touch of a computer keyboard, providing flexibility to respond to changing weather conditions. This was impossible under the old system, where orders were controlled manually by water officers and took 24 hours to fill.
In the mornings, a storm's coming across, you haven't got the 24-hour notice, you've got 2 hours to respond to an unusual event that happens on the farm. Whether it's you need more water for a wilting crop or you've got a sudden downpour. And when you're finishing a paddock, you can cut the orders down or turn the paddock off when you want to, not when the water officer turns up the following day.
The water rushes through the gap to spread gently and evenly over the well-worked soil.
Much of Australia's irrigation industry still relies on the same technology used in this film on rice growing more than 40 years ago. Deathridge wheels can be up to 100% inaccurate in measuring water delivered to the farm gate.
It's really, medieval, the way most of Australia and worldwide irrigation is run. There's a real inequity issue with the Deathridge meter. Some farmers get a big megalitre of water, so they get more, some get less, some get what they should do. Normally this time of year flowing at quite a few hundred megs to support.
Bruce Rodgerson is a director of Rubicon Australia, which has designed and built a world's best system through Coleambally's 1,200 kilometres of channels and drains. At the centre of the total channel control system are solar-powered, radio-controlled flume gates capable of delivering large volumes of water on demand.
We can measure the flow at every point in the system, and that gives us a great capability of knowing where the water is at any point in time. If we can't measure the water, you can't control it. So at the moment we've got a gate height of 5.7. The other key thing with just having the flume gate at the farm meter outlet is that we can deliver much larger flows. And that's a big constraint on farms is, you want to get the water when you want it and you want to get the flow you need it at.
Farmers such as Ian Sutherland believe the cooperative's $15 million investment in water-saving technology has made a big difference, even with a scarcity of water through the drought.
This past 2 years of being drought, I have got approximately 25% more crop through, I believe, because of the water that Collie Irrigation has been able to deliver to my gate.
The Coleambally Cooperative believes savings made in the last 2 years helped many of its members produce crops that may have otherwise perished.
Well, we saw the benefits really kick in over the last 2 years. Significant water savings have gone back to our customers, over 60,000 megalitres per year, significant volume of water. Last year we had our allocations cut from 15% to 10%, and as soon as that cut came through from the state government, we were able to prop up that cut with interest and provide more water back to our customers when everyone else was really feeling the pinch.
And another benefit is that the system is now more carbon friendly.
The fuel prices over the last 5 years has gone up, but the fuel costs in terms of our business has remained static. So our greenhouse footprint has been reduced. And on the same subject, the National Plan for Water Security talks about moving to higher technology irrigation like pressure systems and drip. And I believe that the technology that we're looking at rolling out now will provide us, if you put a value on carbon that is, of something equivalent.
This year, some of Coleambali's saved water was traded on the open market to help keep horticultural plantings alive in other irrigation districts. And the co-op savings have also provided an environmental dividend. About 400 hectares of wetlands at 26 sites across the district got a total of 1,700 megalitres last year.
On this one, Mark, I mean, that's really quite impressive, is it? Yep. It's all really bright green, all looks really healthy. Yep. There's no insect defoliation there.
Biodiversity Officer Mark Robb says less than 12 months on, the benefits are already showing.
There's our first native. We just have to look around here in the immediate area surrounding us, the new growth on the young box trees, and I myself can visually see that the older box trees have put on quite a significant amount of new growth as well, and set seed and that sort of thing. So, yeah, I can certainly see a difference.
Total Channel Control has delivered 90% efficiency at Coleambally for water delivery. But the challenge now is matching those gains with how the water is used on farm. State-of-the-art weather forecasting stations providing updates every 15 minutes will help, as will a greater rollout of soil moisture monitoring technology, now used by just 1% of irrigators on winter crops.
It's a tool that we're going to use in the future. I can see it being used just to confirm that our irrigation scheduling is on track. At the end of the irrigation season, when you're getting nearer to harvest, determining whether you've got enough moisture in the soil to get that crop through to harvest. OK, let's have a look, Kieran.
District Agronomist Kieran O'Keefe says the cost of moisture probes has been a factor in the slow take-up of the technology.
Cost has been a factor, or cost-benefit, perception that there wasn't a real benefit, because a lot of farmers actually get the irrigation timing pretty well right. They still use the shovel and they still use augers and look at the crop, but this actually gives a bit more depth to the information. So we need to make use of what little bit of water we've got and make good use of it.
The Department of Primary Industries is now working closely with farmers to promote the Coleambally Cooperative's Farm Connect program, where on-farm moisture monitoring is directly linked to the co-op's website.
Instead of everyone having a laptop, going out there, having issues with laptops, downloading the data, it goes back into your office and you can just have a look at it at night. 22% of irrigators use irrigation monitoring equipment. That will increase, I think, with water scarcity, but it still means that we've got a very important job to do, trying to convince those 4 out of 5 growers that haven't used the bits of gear.
Just as some farmers are sceptical about the cost-benefit of on-farm technology, many also had doubts about Total Channel Control. Its implementation was plagued with teething problems, but now Coleambally is set to reap long-term benefits in a future where water scarcity may be ongoing.
Things work brilliantly in the laboratory, but when you go out into the cold, hard reality of in the field, and we have some pretty harsh conditions here in Australia, and it was working our way through all those issues. But we could always see light at the end of the tunnel, and there was enough incentive for us to keep on ploughing on, and I'm glad we have.